What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Roach coming at you with another video, and today we're going to talk about this is going to be another part in the training series. Excuse me. Today we're going to talk now to the general audience. You probably, what's the role of private security? Your job says every report. That's it. That's it. And that's going to be the general consensus of most of the general public, including law enforcement. But what would happen if observe and report doesn't cut it? And between between like 1990s and today, the threat has changed. The threats have gotten more serious. You're hearing a lot more that's really dominating the headlines nowadays is active shooters. And we're going to talk, and I'm going to bring up an article. This is about 9 years old, but there's some relevance to this, and I still see some of it ongoing even to this day. And we're going to talk, and let me bring that up real fast. If I could find it. This is a article, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to read this to you, and I'm going to put a link to this article in the description. And the title of this is U.S. Security Associates to pay more than $46 million for negligence. And the jury found U.S. Security Associates negligent in the deaths of two Kraft Food employees who were fatally shot by a coworker in 2010. Now, we all know about Columbine. We all know about Columbine. We all know about the Newtown incident, Parkland shooting, and you guys know a lot more. You guys can do your own research. But my point I'm getting at is what this is when observe and report doesn't work. Now, I'm just gonna read it out. U.S. Security Associates must pay more than $46.5 million to the families of two Kraft Food employees who were fatally shot by a disgruntled coworker after a jury found the security firm negligent in the deaths of the two women. Now, I know some of you are going to say this, well, they're not paying me to get involved in that. My job's observe and report. Well, this is where the training comes in. It has to be ongoing. It's got to be stuff. It has to be ongoing with your respective post within your respective organizations. There's agencies out there that want bodies, and hey, they're making money. Most of the time, the training you're gonna have to seek it on your own. There's plenty of it out there here in the state of Oklahoma. I've done a few. I've done some of it myself, and I still do. I still do, even though I don't work it full time. I still do. Now, in February, a jury found USSA negligent in the deaths of Tanya Wilson and Latanya Brown and awarded their families $8.2 million in compensatory damages. On March 25th, a jury then awarded the families $38.5 million in punitive damages, bringing the total to more than $46.5 million. NBC Philadelphia reports. The backstory on it. In 2010, Yvonne Miller, who had been suspended from her job, came to the Kraft Foods campus with a .357 Magnum and fatally shot Wilson and Brown. Hiller also shot and injured a third worker. Hiller was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder and is serving life in prison. The lawsuit filed against USSA claimed 2 security guards failed to protect individuals at the Kraft plant during the shooting, noting that the guards failed to warn employees in the several minutes it took Hiller to walk to a third-floor mixing room where the 2 victims worked. Now, pointing at that out, there's a lot of procedures that has to go in place between your chosen security company and the client. Okay, where's the security company at? Where are they at a front door? Are they at a guard shack? Are they at that? This can go on and on. A lot of policies and procedures are now coming into full play here now. A lot of that's being addressed. In that in a future video, we're going to talk about the role the armed security guard can play in it, which is some training I have taken myself. I may be bringing on a guest on that that conducted one of this. So, going make a long story short, here in Oklahoma, where there was a course called the Solo Response to an Active Shooter that was taught to both law enforcement and security. Now I know law enforcement is going to say, "Well, security shouldn't have to be involved in that. Don't just security." Well, are you doing any better? Look at Uvalde. Look at Parkland shooting, where you're just sitting out there, just standing by while the active shooter, the actor's going in there slaughtering people. Are you doing better? And shut up. Court documents show that the guards called 911, which, there you go. However, they didn't take further actions to warn craft management, such as using a radio to communicate with the employees or sounding a warning through the plant's public address system. That that is critical. That's critical. Have a system in place where you have a warning tone as it ongoing that tells the employees to get out of Dodge, get to safety. Because honestly, security guards are not going to go if you're unarmed. That's pretty much the best you can do at this point. Now, furthermore, video surveillance footage shows a USSA worker running and hiding in a boiler room during the incident. Okay, now a spokesman from woman from USSA released the following statement on the verdict. U.S. Security Associates believes that its personnel on duty on the night of the North Philadelphia shooting made reasonable decisions and acted with courage in the face of a direct threat to their own lives. As is your typical, well, we have to play damage control. Okay. In no sense did they or USSA display an intentional disregard for the safety of others. We are disappointed in today's verdict and tended appeal on the grounds that the evidence presented was not sufficient for punitive damages award to be granted under well-established Pennsylvania law. I'm going to answer that here. This goes back to the train how the threat has evolved since the 1990s and now. People are getting bolder. People are taking guns into the workplace. People go. There's not a screening. There's no. I mean, there's no. Yeah, you can put the signs out there. No guns allowed. Like the signs are going to do any good? Yeah, whatever. And at the same time, the people of USSA sympathize deeply with the families of Tanya Renee Wilson and Latanya Sharon Brown, the two women who died in the shooting, and with Bryant Dalton, who was severely wounded. Now, training. This is so important. Security is, yeah. You got call you 911. Call you 911. Get them rolling. Get them rolling. Hit a panic button. Get alerts the security. Alerts the employees that, hey, look, you got a threat ongoing. Now this can be not for just active shooter. It could be for tornado, Mother Nature. Okay, there's a tornado warning issued. Hit the plant. Okay, hit it over the intercom. Tell the employees to get to safety. Where I mean, like I say, active shooter, active nature. I mean, here in Oklahoma, we had a pretty active tornado season, where and where a large number of tornadoes going into this, and that's going to be another video coming up, part of this training series. My point is training, 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 training. You can't put just bodies out there thinking, oh, we got a body out there. They can figure it out for themselves. Well, it's going to take some joint cooperation between your client, and then you've got your agency. You have to train your people to know what to do, armed or unarmed, in the case of a situation like this. Otherwise, and something that a mentor said to me, no matter what you do, and I know, let me backtrack that for just a minute. No matter, well, we can't absolve ourselves of all liability. Well, I got news for you, people. No matter what you do or what you don't do, the high possibility exists you're going to court, and you're going to have to explain. You're going to have to explain why you did what you did, or why you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Now, guys that are armed, I hope you have a good relationship. I hope you've got a great relationship with God. I'm going to tell you that straight up, because I think if you're kind of like me, you want to be sure your fitness is intact. You want to be sure that you're ready to go for the worst day of your life. You're going to be training physically. You're going to be training emotionally. You're going to be doing your whatever you're spiritually. What you're going to be doing. You're going to be engaged in the Bible study. You're going to be going whatever the case may be. You want to mentally prepare yourself for the worst day of your life. In this case, such as this. So I know some of you are going to say this. But there's no God. Well, I hope you and your higher power are pretty close because that bad guy gun out there with the gun could and then an arranged a meeting between you and your creator. That's all I'm going to say on that. You can argue about it in the comments, whatever you want to do. My point is training, 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 training. It's got to be ongoing. Here in Oklahoma, security guards have to take, I think, 8 hours continuing education every 3 years. In my opinion, that's not enough. It has to get better. But they have passed a bill where we have to requalify our weapons once a year. That I think's a start. So that way, we're up there above. We're a good shot. We want to be sure when that worst day comes and we have to draw our weapon and we have to lay down fire on such an active shooter or what active bad guy, we want to make sure we neutralize our targets, whatever the case may be. Now that being said, let me go back to the primary. My point at is in this video: train, 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 train. You cannot rest on your laurels in this position. There's a lot of Facebook memes out there. Somebody out there is trying to kill you. It's training to kill you. Are you going to be ready for when the threat comes? James Yeager, the late James Yeager, one of my favorites. I love following on YouTube. Always said in his tactical response videos, always be ready for when the fight comes to you. I don't know if he said it like that or I'm paraphrasing at this point, but I don't know if he said it like that. With that being said, this is another one part in the training series, and probably in the next video, I'm going to talk about what's being done by security agencies to counteract this, this look that the public has towards most security agencies. That being said, trust is earned, loyalty is returned. I'll see you on the next video.